Welcome to Coyote's Corner. This episode, we'll be listening to Michael Lang tell Octopus and Raven.
Long ago, when the world was new, the animals could change their form and walk about as humans do. One day, a woman was walking along the seashore at low tide. Her long black hair was tied into 8 tight braids, for she was the octopus. And as she walked, she carried a large stick and a basket in her hands. She sat herself down upon a rock covered in seaweed, and began to dig with the stick in the wet sand. She unearthed a clam, scooped it up in her hands, and placed it into her basket. She continued to dig, and every time she unearthed another clam, she scooped it up and placed it in her basket. But while she was digging, a man came walking along the shore. There was a bounce in his stride. The sun gleamed in his black hair with hues of purple and blue, for he was the Raven. Raven saw Octopus digging, and he said to himself, "Ah, there is Octopus. I shall annoy her." And so he called to Octopus, "Octopus, what are you doing? Are you digging for clams?" But Octopus said nothing in reply. She continued to dig in the wet sand. And so Raven went a little closer, and he called a little louder, "Octopus, what are you doing? Are you digging for clams?" Again, Octopus said nothing in reply. And so Raven went a little closer, and he called a little louder, "Octopus, what are you doing? Are you digging for clams?" But again, Octopus said nothing in reply. And so Raven went closer, and he shouted right into her ear, "Octopus, what are you doing? Are you digging for clams?" At that moment, Octopus's 8 tight braids came to life. 4 of them wrapped around the rock upon which she was sitting, and the other 4 wrapped around Raven's head. He was held fast. At that moment he realized to his horror the tide was coming in. Octopus smiled sweetly at him. "Why, yes, Raven, I am digging for clams. Look in my basket. You will see that I've gathered several already." Yes, I see that you are digging for clams. Thank you for answering my questions. Very good of you to answer my question. Could you let go of me now?" By that time, the water had risen above Raven's ankles. Octopus smiled at him. "But Raven, you asked me another question." "I am digging for clams. Look in my basket. You will see that I have already found several." Yes, I see that you are digging for clams. Thank you for answering my question. It is very good of you to answer my question. Could you let go of me now?" By that time, the water had risen above Raven's knees. Still, Octopus did not release him. She smiled sweetly. "But Raven, you asked me another question. It would be rude not to answer your question. I am digging for clams. Look in my basket. You will see that I've gathered several already." Yes, thank you. It's very polite of you to answer my question like that. I see that you've been digging for clams, and I see that your basket is full of clams. Could you please release me now?" By that time the water had risen above Raven's chest. Still, Octopus did not release him. "But Raven, I have not answered all of your questions yet. Yes, I am digging for clams. Look in my basket. You will see that I have several already." Yes, I see that your basket is full of clams. I see that you are digging for clams. You've been very polite in answering all my questions. Please release me." The water had risen above Raven's neck, and at last Octopus released him. Raven sputtered and he fluttered, raced back to shore. Ever since then, Octopus has never had to worry about Raven annoying her.
That was Michael Lang telling Octopus and Raven. I'm sitting down with Michael now to get a little background on the story, see where it came from. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely, Toby.
So, where did this story come from?
This story is a Native American story that, in the book of stories that I found it in, it's attributed to the Nootka tribe, who are a tribe of the Pacific Northwest region.
What originally drew you to this story in particular?
I think what originally drew me to this story is Raven's entire motivation for this story is, there's Octopus. I'm going to annoy her. And how quickly that goes downhill for him.
Yeah, it definitely has kind of that Wile E. Coyote effect to
Yeah,
it.
right. Raven is one of the trickster characters like Coyote, and to see one of his tricks go this far awry, I always enjoy those kinds of stories.
So, we mentioned Wile E. Coyote and Raven being a trickster. We're here on Coyote's Corner. What is it that draws us as listeners, readers, to these trickster characters?
Well, I think the thing about tricksters is that they're not necessarily the quickest, not necessarily the strongest, but they're always smart and clever. And we as a people, that is something we identify with. That I can overcome anything. All I have to do is put my mind to it, and I can think my way out of any situation.
Okay, well, thank you, Michael.
Absolutely.
And thank you to our audience out there for joining us here at Coyote's Corner. And as always, feel free to check out Michael's webpage, coyotesinc.com, where you can find more stories that we've recorded, see some resources about storytelling, see some organizations that Michael is involved with, see some other storytellers that he tells with. Check it out. You can download this track. You can download a whole bunch of other tracks as well. You can even purchase some CDs.
And as always, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe so you never miss anything we're doing here.
And until next time, this has been the Coyote's Corner.